Hey guys, how's it going? Today I wanted to talk about something interesting I was thinking about in the story of Samson and Delilah. Now, I think most people know the story. Samson is an Israelite. He falls in love with a Philistine who are oppressing the Israelites, gets married, has harms done against him by the Philistines. He burns down their fields. He ends up losing his old wife, gets a new wife who's also a Philistine. And at this point, he has committed so many grave acts of violence against the Philistines that they ask his wife to find a way to betray him. What's the secret to his great unending strength? You know, the strength that gave him the ability to kill thousands of men. And in the end, he admits to Delilah that the secret is in his hair and that his hair had never been cut. And so she cuts his hair. He loses his strength. He's captured by the Philistines. His hair grows back. He has a rebirth in faith in God. And then with his last moments, kills many thousands of Philistines by collapsing a building on them. Okay. That's Samson and Delilah, the truncated version. Many people think about this and they talk about the great works that Samson does, the great, almost inhuman things that the Spirit allows Samson to do, whether it's killing thousands of Philistines with a jawbone or whether it's the great act of strength to collapse the pillars of a building and crush the Philistines. They think of the ways that God has empowered Samson and these great acts glorifying God's strength and power. And all of that is fair. It makes sense that people talk about those things. However, there is a narrative archetype going on here that I think is easy for us to miss, and that is the relationship between when our acts are for God and when we follow His way and when we don't, and what happens. See, a key part of the story is that Samson is a Nazirite man. That is, he has been consecrated to God. He cannot drink wine or any strong drink. He cannot eat anything unclean. He's not to touch the bodies of the dead. And he is not to have his head shaven. These are all things that stand as physical symbols, behaviors that stand for how Samson has been consecrated to God. And throughout his story, these things are all broken down. And when he fails to uphold his symbols, the things that he ought to do in his consecration, that is when God leaves him. Now, in our lives, we all have times and moments when God leaves us, or it seems like God leaves us. That is like times where it feels like God's not with us, or he may have forsaken us, or like he's just not present in our lives, things like this. And when that happens to Samson, he is tortured and imprisoned. But it's the consequence of Samson failing to be upright. Samson fails in his consecration to God. He fails to live a holy life set apart for God. And so when he fails to live in God, God withdraws from Samson. But in many ways, if you think about it, God didn't change. God's not the one who suddenly backed off from Samson. What happens is that Samson fails in his holiness. Samson is the one who steps away from God. God allows that to happen. Oftentimes in our lives, what this story I think can really mean to us is that oftentimes in our lives, it seems like God has abandoned us. And many times that may be because we have failed to live in our relationship with God. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Kind of a shorter one, kind of a more simple one, just thinking about this Bible verse. I hope you liked it. If you did, please give this video a like. It really helps my videos do better, and it tells the YouTube algorithm that you want to see more of this content. If you do want to see more of this content, do please hit the subscribe button. That way, I will show up in your feed every time I upload a new video. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, anything like that, please throw it in the comments box. I try to respond to every single comment. Sometimes I even make videos based off of comments. For many of my subscribers who are still here and are returning and got this far, thank you very much. Sorry for no video last week. I had a very busy week, but I should be getting on to my regular weekly upload schedule again. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. God bless.